Hey gang, Scott here. In this video, I want to cover the fundamentals of HDR editing in Lightroom. And this is not HDR tone mapping, not merge to HDR when you've taken multiple exposures and you tone map and blend them into a single image. This is more true HDR editing using an HDR-capable display. You get the actual display of all of that HDR information, that high dynamic range. Your cameras are capturing +1, +2, +3 stops of light in that raw image. You have access to those, and if you're using an HDR capable display, you get to visualize those, edit, and see really a glorious result from your photo. It's the highlight details that you never knew you had. A couple of things about this video. First, you need to be watching this on an HDR capable display. I'm going to show you two images side by side here. If you do not see a difference between these two photos, then you're not watching this on an HDR capable display. The photo on the right has much more highlight detail. That secondary swoop of snow, and there's like these little snow ledges and ridges where all of this highlight detail, where the right up in here, where there's just these banks of snow and there's ripples in the snow and it's all catching bits of light, that is not coming through in the SDR photo on the left. So if you don't see a difference, try watching this on your smartphone. Most modern smartphones have an HDR capable display. You'll be able to see that detail and get the most out of this video. The second thing is you'll notice, if you're familiar with my content, I tend to zoom in certain areas, or I'll make certain sliders come bigger. It's going to look a little different in this video because I'm having to completely change the set of software that I'm using to capture and render a video that is able to show you this HDR capable display and what it means for our Lightroom editing. So bear with me as I figure out some of the new things in the new software here. So this will feel a little bit different, but I'm hopeful that the content you're getting is going to be the important part, and you're going to get the goodness that you come to expect from my videos here. So let's take a look at the basic panel in Lightroom. And this is what we normally see when we open up a photo today. SDR, we have our histogram, from 0 to 255, our normal ranges, and a bunch of sliders. There is this one button here called HDR, and I'm just going to click it. I have done nothing else to the photo, just click HDR. And you'll notice that things brighten up a little bit, right? Before that snowbank that's behind the main peak that's the subject of this photo, and then after, that just got a little bit brighter. And you'll notice other things change too, notably the histogram. But the very first thing I want to point out is when we're looking at the SDR photo, nothing is clipped here, right? There's no clipping. There's no clipping in the shadows. There's no clipping in the highlights. You'd go and think, well, I guess I have all my tones. Everything is okay. Everything is great. And it turns out that there is more that can be had from this image. And if I'm just looking at the histogram and going, oh, I guess I don't need to do HDR, that would be incorrect. One thing that might happen is that you hit auto, you'll notice things got pushed over there a little bit farther. And if I change the profile, all right, I'm starting to see more pushed up toward that highlight range, but I'm still not clipping. Yet when I hit that HDR, I've got more data that's beyond the edge of my traditional histogram, which I'll explain in just a moment. So when you're thinking, do I need to do HDR for this photo or not? Do I need to hit that button? Just hit it once. Take a look at the histogram, see if you have data that's out there. My workflow is I'll tend to hit auto. I'll do my profile, I'll hit auto, and then I'll hit HDR, because as I change these sliders, it's going to change the dynamic of the histogram. As we know, right, all these sliders affect the tones in our histogram. So speaking of the histogram, now that we have HDR turned on, our histogram looks a whole lot different. Right? I'll turn it off for a minute. Here's our SDR histogram, right? And kind of make a mental note. We have a little bit of peaks down in the shadows. We have a big peak toward the highlights. HDR, there's that same histogram. The peaks and the shadow, they're kind of crushed together because this half, let me zoom in on that a little bit, but this half from here to here, that is all of the SDR range that we had. It's all this been squashed into half of the histogram. And then we have these additional segments kind of between these gray lines from here to here. From here is like one stop of additional light, from 0 to +1, a stop of light. From here, second stop of light, +3, +4. And you can see it tapers off and taps out after about, let's call it 2.5. And so what this is telling me is I have in this current photo additional information that's in the first, additional stop of light, +1 stops, where I've got more that I can work with. And so as I start to push sliders around, all of these sliders here, they work the same way. I get more contrast. I could raise the highlights or lower the highlights back up. Maybe I don't want the shadows as open. I want the white to be crisper, right? In this photo, it looks really nice when I make it crisp. The blacks can stay where they are. Texture, clarity, dehaze, all that stuff, it just works the same way as it did before. You're just working with more tones. And you'll notice as I made those adjustments, as we expect, things in our histogram change. I went from having information in this first stop of light to having information in this second stop of light, and even a little tiny bit bleeding out into the third. Which brings me to, I guess, a couple of points here is, first, I mentioned earlier, figuring out, do I need to turn on the HDR button or not? Just flip it on, see what you get. But also, once you have it turned on, you're going to change the sliders differently than you would do for an SDR photo, just simply because you're working with more data. Now, how to visualize the HDR ranges? We have a tick box, and of course, wonderfully named Visualize HDR. I'm going to turn that on, and we're going to see all sorts of colors show up here. Now, these colors map to the histogram. Right? So when we go up into the histogram and I hover over the SDR range, you can see that entire SDR area. It's kind of got this green overlay, and pardon the little bit of artifacting that's happening with my zoom here in the upper right of this photo. That's an artifact of my zoom. But the green area is telling me all of the data that I had in my standard range. As I hover over to the next segment, this cyan, this is all of the areas of the photo that are from 0 to 1 stop additional dynamic range. We get to blue, that's from 1 to 2 stops. We get into like this purple color, we're beyond 2 stops there. And then it tapers off and I don't have anything in like this, I guess I'll call it magenta color at the end there. But when you're visualizing the HDR, you get this overlay of all the different colors that say, here are all the areas that are in these various additional stops that you have. And it's helpful to know where your, it's one way to see like where my brightest areas are. In this case, it's going to be the purple. When I turn that off, it's this slope right. Oh, that zoomed out. I didn't want to zoom out. Let's zoom in. This slope right here, that's got an extreme amount of highlight on it. I hit that visualize. We can see that's where that purple is. That represents my brightest spots there. So Visualize HDR, very helpful in helping you understand the additional segments of your histogram. What else do we normally work on when we're doing SDR editing, any editing? We're worried about clipping, right? So we have the overlays of our clipping, like the J key, and we can see I've got a little bit of clipping here according to this yellow icon there. I'll just hit the J key. Now the J key, things look different when you're in an HDR mode. What's the yellow all about, right? When I do a clipping overlay for an SDR image, I would see blue for shadow areas that are clipped. I'd see red for highlight areas that are clipped. What's with the yellow? So let me do something a little bit unnatural to this photo. Let me raise exposure so I get some red, and let me really crush the black so I get some blue. We get all three colors here. So our traditional stuff, we know that the blue overlay is clipped shadows. Whatever is rendering with blue in this clipping overlay, that is pure black. anything that's rendering as red is beyond the capability of display. Now, it's beyond pure white. There is no information there. The yellow is telling you what areas are within the HDR range of the photo, right? And we go back up to the histogram, and with the clipping turned on, remember I had the J key turned on here, we can see there's this yellow section that's underneath that covers up to about 2.5 stops. And then there's red that goes beyond that. So anything in the red zone saying, I can't visualize it. The no eyeball, the eyeball with the slash through it. I can't show you any data that's out here. It's beyond the capability of how your HDR setup is. And that's a couple of things there. There's like, what's the capability of your display, and what have you dialed in as the maximum for your HDR editing? Which brings me to my last little thing for this video, is like that maximum that I just mentioned. That's something you control. Let's undo those last couple of changes. So we're back to where we were. I will press J one more time. This one here, Visualize HDR. I'm sorry, not Visualize HDR. We just talked about that. HDR Limit. Sorry, it's the slider right above it. You'll see I have it set to 2.5. Well, that's right about where I have the end of this little white bar that's beneath the histogram. That is telling you what you've tapped out for the HDR limit, and if your display is capable of showing it. Now, let me now increase the HDR limit, and you'll watch on the histogram. You'll see I'm pushing, and I've gone to 4.9 now. I can't really go that far, but on this display, on my display, I maximize out at about 3.5. And so this is where you have some latitude to say, you know what, I do have more than 2.5 stops of data. Maybe I have something even into 3. You can control that with HDR limit. In practice, I tend to start at 2.5 because that seems to be pretty reasonable, and it also keeps me in check that I don't start processing my photo and making everything like exceptionally bright because it's really, I want the highlights to be bright. I don't want the whole photo to be bright, and that just seems to be a value that works out pretty well for me. Are there exceptions? Sure. Imagine the classic high dynamic range landscape that we've had to deal with for years. You're photographing a sunrise or sunset into the sun, right? There's going to be spots that are just really, really bright. There's going to be spots that are in deep shadow. That might be a space where you start to work with the HDR limit slider. But I tend to keep it at around 2.5, dial that right back in. And maybe one last thing about the HDR value here, not the HDR value, the HDR limit here with this bar here. What I'm about to do now is I'm going to brighten my screen, and I'm pushing the brightness of my screen as high as it goes. And you notice that bar just retreated a full set of stops, right? When you have your screen set brighter, you're actually tending to display fewer tones. It's counterintuitive, but it's like if you really crank up the brightness on your display, it's going to impact how much HDR range you can edit within. And similarly, if I lower it really far, if I start lowering this down, and then I get that HDR limit pushed back up, I can get that 4th stop out there. Where I tend to have my display brightness set is about 50%. That's a carryover for me from the printing days, where I wanted to make sure I don't edit things and make them too bright, because then when you print, your prints come out looking all dark. And that's one of the reasons I land on this, this 2.5 arena. It's a combination of reasonable editing as well as matching where I have my display brightness set. So net here, your display brightness can impact and does impact how little or how much of that additional stops of light you have in this HDR range. So maybe to sum this whole thing up here, like what have we done is really, other than cranking up tint beyond normalcy. When you start your editing, flip on HDR, because you'll find out, do I have additional data out here or not? J key to show clipping. It's going to look a little different. You got a third color in here, yellow, right? You've got the traditional blue if you clip the shadows, traditional red if you clip the highlights. Yellow is telling you things that are beyond SDR range, but well within the capability of your display, showing it to you. Visualize HDR, you can see what's standard, what's the first stop of light, second stop of light, and anywhere from 2 to 3 stops of light, ultimately up to 4 if you've got your HDR limit set really high. And last but not least, the HDR limit controlling how much or how little of that HDR data do you want to tap into. I like a setting of 2.5. Okay, that was a lot in the video, I know, but hopefully you found it useful. I'll come back with some other things about, how does this HDR mode affect editing with curves? You might be thinking, what about luminosity ranges, all those types of things. A few other topics to cover for HDR editing. I think this is plenty for one video. I hope you found it useful. Let me know if everything rendered okay and you can actually really see the differences between that SDR and HDR range, because that's important. If I can't get that right, then there's not a whole lot of value in me doing additional videos on it. But until next time, my name is Scott Davenport. Hope you have fun.